So before we start talking about a lot of BS that we thrown at you guys in terms of sales and marketing and all the rest, and why you should do this program, why you should do this gym, why you should do this diet, why low fat's better, why low carbs better, and all this sort of thing that's going to get thrown at you now that gyms are about to be reopened in the next month. At the moment, at time of speaking in this podcast is July 20th. Part of me hopes that it could happen as early as June 29th. As of today, shopping centres and stuff are open in Ireland. And like I just said, the intro to this podcast, the Phoenix Park open, and everyone, it just felt like a normal Sunday with people running, the traffic there, obviously, but with the exception of that, just people getting by. And I see no one in the park with masks, not to get into that debate about masks being good, bad, or anything like that. But it just felt like a normal Sunday. It felt like things were getting a little bit back to normal. Thankfully, the numbers are down. Unfortunately, people are still passing away with the coronavirus, but there hasn't been that spike yet. So hopefully gyms will be open soon. It may be June 29th. And if it is June 29th, you're going to get a lot of stuff shown at you pretty fast on social media advertisement on why you should do this type of program, this type of program. And I just want to help you make a decision that's going to benefit you. This is not going to be a sales pitch for any of my stuff. At the moment, I'm not even doing personal training. I'm working with a gym at the moment, so I'm not doing my own kind of thing. I am doing my own boot camp, so I'm hoping that what I'm saying now will align with what I want to provide in my boot camp. I won't be advertising that for quite a while, so there's not going to be a sales pitch there either, because with the numbers and stuff like that, I'm going to be working with my current clients before you guys. So you put down the guard. I'm not doing a sales pitch with this. Just to what I think will help you rather than, and what I want to put into my bootcamp will obviously be true what I say here, but it's not going to be salesy or any which way from that. And to get into it, what I want to talk about first is, and I've talked about this before, is every year I do like a 6-week challenge. And with that 6-week challenge, I do a low carb diet. I have a cheat day every Sunday, and that's usually some sort of roast dinner. The odd time and dessert will stick in there. But for the most part, I stay clean throughout 6 weeks. Now, I do have little lapses here and there where I'm like, I need some form of carbs, and I throw a bit of sweet potato fries. I feel like I'm healthier eating that. And we've talked before about it's not necessarily healthier than potatoes, but I feel like it's healthier and it helps me stay on track. At the end of the 6 weeks, like last year, for example, I built this big Sunday at the end of the 6-week challenge where I went on a whiskey tour that morning. I was at a barbecue in the afternoon. I was with a few mates in the evening having a couple of Sierra Nevadas, watching the 49ers opening game of the season. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think it was. A good victory that day to start off a great season. And I just built this big event around it. And then after that, then I was on holidays. I was over in Iceland and all the rest. And I had my first 2 full weeks holidays pretty much in like 4 or 5 years. So I built everything around that Sunday, and everything else happening after that. That kept me on track to know that when I was making sure I wasn't able to eat certain foods, that was only short term, it wasn't long term, that I had a bigger picture, a bigger goal in mind, and just working towards that feeling and how I would feel once I was able to have those foods again, that it wasn't a long term thing. And that helped me get through it, and I got great results from that. I think I lost 4 or 5 kilo. It's the one time a year I track my weight. 4 or 5 kilo. I felt stronger. I looked good. I felt even better. And my whole point of that is, well, what worked there? Why does that challenge work for me? And full disclosure, I don't think it'll work for everyone, because I don't think everyone should build their 6-week challenge around the opening of a football season, because I'm not as crazy as I am on that. But was it the low carb diet that worked for me? And the simple answer is no. Because when I was on that low carb diet and restricted food, I'm like, if I'm going to put myself to this extreme, and it is a bit of an extreme to be honest with you, I don't think you should be taking carbs out whole year round, but it works for me for these 6 weeks. And that's a different topic. Let's not talk about low carb, low fat or anything like that. The point is, if I was going to reduce my calories, which is in essence that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just reducing my calories. No matter how I do it, it reduces calories. By doing that and depriving myself of drinking beer for 6 weeks, by the way, which is a big deal for me. I know it's not a personal trainer supposed to say, but it is. I like my odd beer. To do that, I'm going to make sure I train. I'm going to make sure I get the workout in. I'm going to make sure I'm in the gym 3-4 times a week, so that at the end of 6 weeks, it's worthwhile doing what I'm doing. And that is how most of these programs work. So if just think about for a second, just think back to whenever you felt a program worked for you, why it worked for you. And it could be something as simple as Weight Watchers and Slimming World. And you're like, obviously that worked for me. And you may think it was just that program, but I'm pretty sure if you really thought about it, there was all these other things that came into effect when you were on whatever program you were on. Let's just say it was a nutrition program or some sort of diet. I'm pretty sure, with the except obviously there's lower calories that helped you get there. The calories went down. No matter how you did it, the calories went down. But with the exception of that, you probably went out on more walks. You probably had some sort of fitness regime with that as well. You probably changed a few little habits without knowing it. But if you think back to it, like, oh yeah, I wasn't doing that before, and I wasn't having, one of my bad habits right now is after a meal, there's always a twirl bar in the fridge. I love me twirl bars. And I'll always have a twirl bar. Not always, but if it's there, I'll end up eating it. And I don't need to eat it. It's a habit. Like, oh, a bit of dessert, chocolate bar. And I go off, do something else. And it's always there. So it's a bad habit that I need to get rid of. I need to make sure that's not there. And to get rid of that bad habit, I'm going off topic a little bit here. To get rid of that bad habit, I need to do a different habit as soon as I finish my meal. So maybe I go for an evening walk as soon as I finish my dinner, and then if I keep doing that, that erases the having a chocolate bar after, and brings in that new habit of going for a quick walk afterwards. And that could take anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks to form that habit. Another habit I have is, like, right now, a good habit. I have this bottle of water in front of me. It's the big jug of it's a 2.2 jug of water. So I'm constantly having that by my side trip today. So that means I'm always getting my 3-4 liters of water in each day and keep myself hydrated. That's an example of good habit. The twirl is an example of bad habit. And you'll find that if you're on certain diets, get back to the topic, you'll be your habits slowly start changing based around that 6 week challenge. So it's not just one thing that works for you. A load of different things slowly come in to play, and that helps you get back on track, and that helps you achieve your goals. It's not just low carb, not just low fat. It's not just this one challenge. And get back to the 6 week challenge that I do. While I could argue that my gym program is better than others because it's full body and it hits more on the hamstrings and the quads, and it's a better balance, most gym programs are going to work if you got lower calories. So if you did just a diet and you did someone else's gym program, yeah, it's going to work. And I can't argue that. I know why I'm doing the exercises, and I have the buy-in for me that I hope to have the buy-in for others. But other people's gym program, while they may look crazy to me and they may look like, you're missing out on this muscle group with that muscle group, and why are you doing this before that, and you're getting into the nitty gritty of it, the bottom line is it can still work for you. So if you just did squats, for example, you're neglecting a lot of different things. But let's just say for argument's sake, let's just say you did 30 minutes of squats. You did every minute on the minute you did 10 squats. You got to breathe for 20 seconds. You did 10 squats again. You did what? That's 10. Well, obviously 30 minutes is 300 squats. Let's just say you did that. You're burning calories there along with your nutrition and everything else. That would work. If you want to keep it that simple and you are motivated just to do squats every day, yes, that would work. Throw in some push-ups and some pull-ups or some sort of row, ideally. You've pretty much got a full body workout there, and that would work. The problem is we get bored doing that and we won't be able to stick to that long term. But in theory, that works. So my whole point is, at the moment, now it was a 2015 study on this, a full European study on this. They said up to only 16% of Irish people train regularly. That is a problem. That's a huge problem. That's why we are not essential. That is why gyms are not open right now and shopping centers are open. Every different type of store is open right now, but over here gyms are not at the moment. We have 720 gyms. Most of those gym memberships, they're not being used to their full potential. We sign up, maybe go once a week, if even once a week, and that's what the bigger gyms are based on. I've talked about this before, not to trash bigger gyms, but they're overpacked in the evenings, and that's still probably 10% or so of their membership clientele, if even. I know it's worked in these type of gyms, and they're hoping that not everyone that has a gym membership uses the gym. which defeats the purpose of a gym. It's there to make money. Let's not get too idealistic about that. Like, one of the reasons you own a gym is to make money. It's probably the main reason to own a gym, but that's a big issue in terms of we're not getting healthier. We're getting more unhealthy right now, and this pandemic's not helping. But more people are going out running, which is a good thing as well. Like, there's something wrong with the industry. It's broken, and you take a broken system, and on top of that, it hasn't been operating at all for the last 3-4 months, and now, unfortunately, a lot of gym businesses are going to go with this coronavirus. It's just inevitable. Rents and all that have to be paid, and no income's coming in, and some of us have adapted to online training, and some more successful than others, which is a different topic as well. When it's either June 29th, which I'm hoping it is, and maybe it's not, that it could still be July 20th, but I'm just hopeful it's June 29th and get back to do what I love to do. But if it's July 20th, it is July 20th. And when that happens, there's going to be a load of stuff thrown at you on why this program's the best program for you. This is the only gym program. This is the only nutrition you should be on. It's going to be sell, sell, sell. And as personal trainers, we do not know how to sell. It's like, our program's the best, and that's it. And some of that might get through to you, like, oh, I need to train at 6 o'clock in the morning to get all these benefits because it's better to train in the morning than the evening. Or I need to do this type of training. I need to do this type of hit training, not this type of hit training. A lot of that stuff is working on the extra 1 to 2%, whereas it's the foundation is what you should be concerned with, but they're talking about the little part. It's like, if building a house, I suppose, we're talking about foundations. They're talking about the types of doors you should have that's the best for this, or maybe the type of windows is actually probably too much. The type of furniture here and there instead of the actual foundation, and the foundation should be based around you and your lifestyle. 6 a.m. sessions can work great for a lot of people. For you, it might not work well at all. It just mightn't suit you, whatever it is with work and travel and everything else. If you're trying to force that in after a couple of weeks, you're just going to drop off. It's not going to happen for you. So with these claims of, the low fat diet, or the low carb diet, or the vegan diet, or all carnivore diet, whatever it is, this is the only diet for you. If that's the ultimatum thrown at you, take a step back. It's not for you. It can't, unless you totally 100% agree and buy into it, then yes, it could be for you. But if you're like, I'm not too sure I could do that, it doesn't make too much sense, then back away from that. Back away from the type of training. They're like, this is the only type of training for you. Now, full disclosure, I'm a big proponent of strength training and everything else following suit. Even the running, as I talked about as the intro to this podcast, I feel like everyone should build some sort of strength foundation for that, and then do more running to reduce injury and just overall better health. But so that's why I'd say some sort of gym program, or then that can still happen in boot camps and stuff like that, with a little bit of resistance and going through the right exercises. But at the same time, if you want to do just running only, there is a way to make that work for you, that you don't have to do gym programs. I hate saying that, but it is true. If I've talked to people, especially doing the Any Given Run Day podcast, where the majority of the things they do is just run, and it works great for them. And who am I to say, you should be doing more squats or lunges, or Bulgarian split squats is definitely the best lower body exercise. I may feel that, but they're like, Sean, I run, I'm doing great, and I'm faster than you. I'm like, son of a you know what I mean? So it's different. You gotta find what fits for you. Don't concern yourself with all the BS that's going to be thrown at you over these next couple of weeks on this program, that program. It has to be something that you could build proper, sustainable habits around, and that's the key. Finding those habits that help you build into a. I'm waffling a little bit here now, so try to compose and get my thoughts together on this one before I waffle on this one too much. The gym program, or whatever program you decide, has to be something that excites you, that you want to do, that you don't dread each and every time, just because the coach says, well, you have to, sweat your ass off doing whatever type of exercise it is the only way to burn fat. The exercises shouldn't be about burning fat or how many calories you burn in an hour or anything like that. That all comes with time, as long as you're building little habits that are sustainable from there. So if a class is being promoted as this burns 600 calories an hour, one doesn't. Everyone's different on it. Everyone adapts differently to how calories are burned. So that's just, it's a BS claim right there. The amount of calories you actually burn could be a lot more, could be a lot less. Who knows? So I wouldn't judge joining up to a session on how many calories it burns, because you're not going to stick with that long term. You need to find something that you're going to stick with long term, rather than quick fixes. That's probably the best way I can sum up this little rant I have right now. If the program is being sold to you as a quick fixes and you're going to drop this amount of body fat, and it's just all about the quick fixes, it's so easy to do. Fitness is simple. Losing weight is simple. It's not easy. It's difficult. I mean, is it 3,500 calories? Deficit is 1 pound. That's a lot. That's a lot, and it can seem insurmountable to lose 10-15 pounds. But if you do it gradually, by doing it gradually, you're building different habits, and that leads to long term, rather than just complete huge deficit in your calories, an insane amount of training on top of that. That's not sustainable. So I'm going to sum up this podcast. Fitness and health is simple. Simplify it. Don't put too much weight into different supplements, types of training and all the rest. Find something that works for you. It's simple. It just isn't easy. It requires consistency. And on that note, thank you today for subscribing and downloading the Coach Sean Fitness podcast. Really enjoying doing these. Once again, hit me up on Instagram at Coach_Sean C if you have any questions at all on this podcast. And if you disagree, even let me know. Hey Sean, I didn't like the way you said this, and this, and we can talk about it. And you might still have your opinion, I might still have mine afterwards, and maybe I might be like, you know what, I didn't formulate my thoughts good on that one. What I meant to say was this. You actually have a point, and that's how we get shit done here, and that's how we get better in this field. Because at the moment, I do think the fitness industry is broken, and God knows what's going to happen when we eventually reopen. And on that note, I was almost a sour note to end the podcast on. It's a Monday. It's a great Monday. The sun is shining. There's a better note to end it on. Coach on. Take care. Now that wasn't a hard video to get through now, was it? I hope you guys got some value out of the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the Coach Sean channel, which is somewhere here. And hit that button, subscribe to the Coach Sean channel, leave a thumbs up. There should be a couple of other videos around here for you guys to check out. And that's all from me, from Coach Sean. Take care.